everybody, this is Heather with Templeboundparadox, and today I wanted to share with you my book haul. Where we live in Boise, there are tons of thrift stores, and because we have a higher than normal LDS population, but nowhere near the degree that it is in Utah, it's still pretty easy for us to get used LDS books pretty much everywhere and not have to pay full retail for them. I wanted to share some of the books that I got for Christmas and some of the books that I found recently. So this first one is a thrift store find. It's The Highest in Us by Truman G. Madsen. And I don't have a whole lot of exposure to Truman G. Madsen. I have an audiobook where he talks about Jesus, and he just has one of those voices that when I listen to it, it just makes me so comfortable, and then I fall asleep and then realize that I missed like 3 chapters in my audiobooks. I picked this up hoping that it would be easier for me to read than it would be to necessarily listen to him. So that's an experiment that I'll follow up at some point. This next one was also a thrift store find. It's Of Heaven and Earth, Reconciling Scientific Thought with LDS Theology, and it's edited by David L. Clark. I think this is a collection of essays talking about various scientific subjects and kind of how science is not at odds with LDS theology. A lot of those fundamentalist beliefs about creationism, about, I'm sure this will talk on evolution, like all of those, the age of the earth, that kind of thing. We don't have a lot of the same beliefs as other Christians or even other religious people when it comes to those things. And so this will probably go into more depth on those sorts of issues. And if you're interested in kind of my take, my relationship between religion and science in my own life, definitely be sure to check out my post that I recently did on this, and I'll leave a link in the description, because this is something that I think a lot of LDS people, especially people who go through various different forms of higher education, would have questions about. So I've done that post, check that out, and I'll definitely be following up with a review on this one because I'm definitely excited to read this. This next one is All These Things Shall Give the Experience by Neil A. Maxwell. And Maxwell is another person that I'm only familiar with via like sound bites on the internet, but I don't think I've ever actually sat down and listened to or read an actual talk of his. Even though he was an apostle not that long ago, he was just before my time in the church, and it's just never come up before. He's another one that, just based on some of the sound bites that I've seen, he is able to take something that would take the rest of us like 3 paragraphs or an entire book to explain, and he consolidates it down into like one perfectly crafted phrase. And I've always really admired the things of his that I've seen, so I'm excited to finally dig in and read some stuff of his. I've got this book and several other ones, and his tend to be really short, but I imagine it's because he's a very dense, like compact experience. This next one was also a thrift store find. This is actually a DI find, and it's The Sign of the Son of Man by Gayla Wise. I wasn't even aware that she had written another book. The only book of hers that I had ever read before was on patriarchal blessings, and it was actually one of the inspirations for the book that I'm currently writing on patriarchal blessings. And the thing about her is she doesn't get enough credit for the kind of influence that she's had on that subject. She's the first woman in the church to have written a book on patriarchal blessings, and you would never know that based on looking at the book itself or looking at the other books that are around. This is House of Learning, Getting More from Your Temple Experience. And the reason I'm looking forward to this one is because I'm a temple worker. I haven't talked about that too much in these vlogs or in my blog in general. I've talked about it probably more on Twitter than I have anywhere else, and never getting too much into what being a temple worker is like, because to be frank, I'm not too sure exactly how appropriate that is to talk about, or what kind of detail I could even go into without getting in trouble. But it's something that is a major part of my life right now, and kind of the impact that it's had on my temple worship. A lot of what we focus on as temple workers isn't actually, deep and profound understandings of the temple ordinances and the meaning of all of the symbolism and all that other type of stuff. That's not what we focus on. A lot of what we're trained on as temple workers is actually sensitivity training. How to be sensitive to the patrons, how to help them, how to assist them, how to present ourselves. In terms of being able to explore that more, that's kind of stuff that I have to do on my own, just because I don't have the energy or the wherewithal when I'm at the temple to even think about those things, because I'm so just deeply absorbed in more of the patrons' experience and what do they need and what can I give them. And so everything that I do as a temple worker is focused on them. I look at it a lot as the same way as I approached being a missionary. It wasn't supposed to be about me. It's supposed to be about the people that I'm serving. So between, the proxy ordinances that we do and the patrons who have come, that's where my focus is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be on me. And that's how I treat it probably the vast majority of the time, to where sometimes I actually have to slow down and think about my own understanding and my own what I'm bringing to this experience before I can, deepen what I'm able to do for the patrons even more. We have quite a collection on temple books, and I really want to start getting into them. And because this one is short, I'm thinking it might be actually a bit of a quicker read, which would be a benefit to me because we're really busy. This last one, this is one my husband actually got me for Christmas. Ephraim, Chosen of the Lord by Arwayne Shute, Monty S. Nyman, and Randy L. Bott. And it was kind of his nod to the book that I'm writing. I'll be sure to let you know what I think of that one as well. So that's all I have for you today. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share these videos with anyone else that you think might be interested in seeing LDS book reviews. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I appreciate your time. Bye!